Legends tell us Mjölnir wasn't just Thor's weapon, but a key to realms unseen, capable of opening portals to other worlds. So where did Mjölnir go? Well, here are 5 realms Thor's hammer could open up, from the home of the gods to even the underworld. Welcome to my channel. It's me, and let's uncover 5 strange places Thor's hammer could take you. Starting our countdown at number 5 is Midgard. In Norse mythology, Midgard is the realm of humans or the mortal world. And while not a mythical place per se, in stories Thor often uses Mjölnir to protect Midgard from giants, frost giants, and other threats. There are a few reasons for this. First, Thor's love for his people. He had a strong connection to the human world and cared deeply for the well-being of mortals. He would shield them from harm and help them in times of need. And second, Mjölnir's connection to the earth. The hammer was forged with the heart of a dying star and imbued with ancient magic. This gave it a strong connection to the natural world, which could be manipulated by Thor to protect the humans of Midgard. One example is when Thor and his brother Loki travel to Utgard, the land of the giants. During their journey, they encounter 3 obstacles that test their strength, wit, and endurance. In the third contest, Thor attempts to shake hands with Utgard's king, but the king refuses, angering Thor. As punishment, Thor takes out his hammer and strikes the ground. The impact creates a deep hole that reaches down to the realm of the giants. Thor calls out to Loki, warning him to stay away because he plans to bring down the whole mountain on the giants. However, Loki, being the trickster that he is, ignores the warning and hides in the hole. Thor then releases the full force of his hammer, causing the mountain to collapse and bury Loki alive. In this story, Thor's use of Mjölnir to destroy part of Midgard shows the immense destructive power of the weapon. But it also highlights Thor's fierce loyalty to his home realm and his willingness to protect it at all costs. Whether it's defending against external threats or punishing those who defy him, Thor's actions serve as a warning to any who would dare challenge the might of the gods. At number 4 is Jotunheim. In Norse mythology, Jotunheim is the home of the giants, and Thor's hammer Mjölnir has a particular significance in relation to this realm. You see, Thor had a long history of conflicts with the giants. They were a constant threat to the safety and well-being of the gods and humans alike, and Mjölnir was his primary weapon in these battles. Mjölnir was not only powerful enough to destroy entire mountains, but it could also manipulate lightning and thunder, call down storms, and shake the very foundations of the earth. These abilities made it an effective tool against the giants whose strength and resilience were legendary. One famous example of Thor using Mjölnir against the giants is during his journey to Utgard. Here, Thor faces many challenges set up by the cunning king of the giants. In their final confrontation, Thor calls down lightning to punish the king, but the giant effortlessly deflects each strike. Frustrated and enraged, Thor summons all his strength and delivers a mighty blow to the king's head with Mjölnir. The impact sends the giant sprawling, and Thor takes the opportunity to bind him with his belt. In this tale, Mjölnir's destructive power is evident in its ability to harm a giant. Despite the king's immense size and strength, the force of the blow from Thor's hammer is enough to knock him down and secure victory for the gods. This is not the only time that Thor uses Mjölnir to defeat the giants. In fact, there are numerous stories in Norse mythology that detail his battles with these colossal creatures, and how Mjölnir plays a key role in each one. Through these tales, we see that Thor's hammer is not just a powerful weapon, but a symbol of the gods' superiority over the giants and their ability to protect the realm of the living from the dangers of the afterlife. Coming in at number 3 is Helheim. In Norse mythology, Helheim is the realm of the dead, also known as Hel. It was ruled by the goddess Hel, who was the daughter of Loki and the big sister of the monstrous wolf Fenrir and the deadly serpent Jormungandr. As the ruler of the underworld, she had the power to control the fate of the dead and determine whether they would spend eternity in blissful fields or in torment. When a person died, Their soul would travel to Helheim and be greeted by the goddess Hel, who would make a decision about their eternal resting place. But why would anyone need to go to Helheim? Well, sometimes the gods themselves ventured into the land of the dead. For example, in the prose Edda, Snorri Sturluson wrote that when the god Heimdall, who guarded the Bifrost Bridge, noticed that the goddess Idun was missing, he went to Helheim to find her. When the goddess saw Heimdall, she offered to return Idun in exchange for his spear, Gungnir. Now, to reach the realm of the dead, you would have to cross the majestic rainbow bridge called the Bifrost, which was guarded by Heimdall. And according to legend, only those who were pure of heart and worthy of entering Valhalla could pass through it. To do so required a boat made from a single piece of wood called a nagelfar. Now, to get to Helheim, Heimdall used one of these boats and rowed it across the vast expanse of the underworld. Once he arrived, he was greeted by a host of spirits and apparitions, some friendly and others not so much. But Heimdall pressed on, determined to find Idun and retrieve her for the gods. In the end, he succeeded in his mission and returned to the land of the living with both the spear and the goddess in tow. Coming in at number 2 is Asgard. In Norse mythology, Asgard is the realm of the gods and home to some of the most powerful beings in the cosmos. It was located in the center of the 9 worlds, connected to other realms by Bifrost, the rainbow bridge guarded by Heimdall. Asgard was not just a physical location, but a cultural and political center for the gods. It was here that the gods held their great feasts and gatherings, made their laws, and planned their battles against the giants and other enemies. Mjölnir played an important role in protecting Asgard and its inhabitants from harm. In many myths, Thor uses his mighty hammer to defend the realm against giants, demons, and other threats. Mjölnir's incredible power and destructive capabilities make it an effective weapon against any who would dare challenge the gods. One example of Thor defending Asgard with Mjölnir is during the battle with the giant serpent Jormungandr. During Ragnarok, the final battle of the Norse gods, Jormungandr rises from the depths of the ocean and unleashes poisonous breath that kills many of the gods. However, Thor, wielding Mjölnir, fights back against the serpent. Despite being weakened by the poison, Thor manages to land a fatal blow to Jormungandr, killing it and saving Asgard from destruction. Another example is when Thor and his companions, including the god Heimdall, face off against the evil giants Loki and his allies. In this battle, Thor uses Mjölnir to devastating effect, taking down giant after giant until only Loki remains standing. Ultimately, though, Thor is tricked by Loki and ends up trapped inside a giant cauldron. Mjölnir is then taken away by Heimdall, who uses it to rescue Thor and save Asgard from falling into the hands of the giants. These tales demonstrate Mjölnir's crucial role in protecting Asgard and its inhabitants from danger. Thor's mastery of the hammer ensures that the realm of the gods remains safe, allowing them to live and rule in peace. Finally, our number 1 spot is the unknown realm. Sometimes Mjölnir didn't just take Thor to another realm, it brought him to unknown places beyond any map. Let me explain. In Norse mythology, there were several instances where Mjölnir led Thor to mysterious, uncharted territories, showcasing the hammer's ability to navigate the cosmos and unveil the unknown. One such adventure is detailed in the poem Thrimsk Vida in the poetic Edda. Here, Thor's hammer Mjölnir is stolen by the dwarfs and hidden away. Thor, disguised as a farmer, goes to retrieve it but is tricked by the dwarves and forced to marry their princess Thrym. When he refuses, they threaten to destroy Mjölnir unless he agrees. Eventually, Thor accepts and is married to Thrym. But when he returns to Asgard, he finds that the absence of his hammer has caused chaos among the gods. Unable to bear the weight of their suffering, Thor decides to return to the dwarfs and reclaim his stolen weapon. On his way, Mjölnir leads him to an unexplored region of the cosmos. Here, he encounters new creatures, challenges, and landscapes that he has never seen before. Through this journey, Thor gains new knowledge and experiences that expand his understanding of the universe. Eventually, he confronts the dwarfs and reclaims his hammer. This tale demonstrates Mjölnir's ability to lead Thor to unknown parts of the cosmos. Thor does not have a clear destination in mind, but Mjölnir guides him along the way, unveiling new wonders and challenges at every turn. In the end, Thor not only recovers his stolen weapon, but also returns with valuable knowledge and experiences that benefit him and the other gods. Mjölnir was more than just a weapon. It was a portal to other worlds. The stories of Thor and his travels show us that Mjölnir wasn't just used to whack giants. It was a key that opened up all sorts of mysterious realms, from the halls of the gods to the unknown reaches of the cosmos. Mjölnir allowed Thor to explore, protect, and connect the various worlds of Norse mythology, making sure balance was kept between the forces of good and evil. And as we wrap up our journey into the hidden realms of Norse myth, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below about which realm would you like to visit using Mjölnir and what kind of adventures you would have there. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an exciting story. Thanks for joining me on this episode. Subscribe for more journeys into Norse myth, and I'll catch you next time.